find the story about the man who was...
I'm in the car, in a rental car in North Carolina, and I've been spending almost 4 weeks in High Point, North Carolina, and Greensboro. That's the neighboring city. And right now I'm driving up to Asheville in Blue Ridge Mountains, and it should be really, really beautiful landscape up there. I'm having lunch with a woman that I met in Chiang Mai. I don't know if you remember the episode where I spoke to a lot of digital nomads in Chiang Mai. One of them was Andrea Wild, and she lives north of Asheville. Her sister lives in Asheville, so we agreed to have lunch today, and so I'm getting to meet Andrea again and her sister. Just want to make sure that I'm taking the right turn here. It's a 2.5 hour drive, so I thought I would spend this drive by sharing some of the stuff that I've been doing for the last 3-4 weeks in High Point and Greensboro. My name is Palle Bo, and this is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
Meet Palle Bo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world.
My name is Palle Bo, and I'm a long-time radio producer. In 2013, I started planning to become a digital nomad and a full-time traveler. 3 years later, I had sold my house, my car, and all my furniture. And in July 2016, I set out on a quest to visit every country in the world. In this podcast, I'm taking you along on my journey. And I'm sharing my ups and downs and let you listen in to conversations with some interesting people I meet along the way.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
But before we start, let me mention that this episode is brought to you in part by housesitting.com. It's a website that searches all the big hotel search sites in one simple search. That saves you both a lot of money and a lot of time by not having to search all the websites yourself. Hotels25 does that for you. Hotels25.com, best price guaranteed. Like I mentioned, I'm house sitting again. It's this website called Trusted House Sitters that brings people that want to travel together with people like me that needs a place to stay. And it's a perfect platform. They get someone to take care of their house and their pets, and doesn't have to pay for it. And I get a place to stay, and just by taking care of the house and the pets, I get a place to stay for free. So there's no money changing hands. It's just people helping people. And I found this house sit as I did the previous 3 house sits I had on trustedhousesitters.com. But I also joined another website called House Carers, and it does basically the same. Here in High Point, North Carolina, I'm taking care of 2 dogs. It was supposed to be 3 dogs, but one of the dogs was ill and had to be put down just the week before I got there. So it's 2 dogs I'm taking care of at the moment. It's a Doberman called Delilah and a cattle dog called Katniss, and both of them are full of energy and very playful, and I've been enjoying the company, and we've been taking long walks playing ball, especially Katniss, the smaller dog. She's very good with the ball. It's really impressive how she can catch it, and I got this thing. It's sort of a plastic extension of the arm that will that allows me to throw the ball really, really far, and she always gets it, and she always comes back with it. Doesn't always want to give it to me, but she's really, really good, and it's almost always Katniss that catches the ball. Once in a while, the Doberman Delilah manages to catch the ball, but her ball eye is not so good. But when she does, she just keeps the ball and lay down and chew on the ball. She doesn't really understand the game that you're supposed to catch the ball and bring it back, and then I throw it again, and then she doesn't really get the whole idea, but we've had a lot of fun taking long walks, playing with the ball, and I've really enjoyed the company. Here in High Point, I've been staying for 3.5 weeks. I've got a few more days before I'm leaving, and that's been great because I needed to do a lot of work. I needed to catch up on editing these podcasts, and I've got some other work. As you know, I'm working as I travel, and this being a time of year where a lot of my clients, they are asking for work, it's been good to have a place where I can really dive into the work. Both my podcasts, I also do a podcast for my company Radio Guru about radio advertising, and then I've had a few gigs that I needed to do for clients. So that's been good. And the dogs have been a distraction. And if you're a traveler like me, you should really look into this whole house sitting thing. TrustedHouseSitters.com or House Carers, or a few of the other sites that are out there. The owner of the house is called Davina, and she's a writer too, and a travel writer. She writes a lot for magazines, and does her own blog, and she's been keeping herself busy as well. She's been in and out of the house. The first week or so, she was at close to the east coast of North Carolina, about a 3-hour drive. So I drove her there so I could have her car, and then later I picked her up again, and she spent a few days at the house, and then I drove her north to a place in the mountains in Virginia, where she actually was house sitting as well. She was using that house sit as sort of a writing retreat. She needed to do a lot of writing, a lot of working, and at that place there was a smaller dog that didn't require so much work, because that dog could run around on the property, and then there was a cat as well. And in the first episode here from North Carolina, you could hear the talk I had with Davina on our way to her writing retreat in Virginia. 2 weeks later, I was back to pick her up. Before I play the next clip, I want to tell you about a rule that I have set up for myself on this journey. The rule is basically, when in doubt, say yes. Unless it's something that might get me killed or ruin me, I use this rule. If I'm not sure if I should do something or not, when I'm presented with a choice, I always say yes. On our way back, we took a small detour to see some beautiful nature. And here, passing through a small town, we saw a sign that made us both say, "Did you see that sign on that small shop?" Davina said, "Should we turn the car and go back and see what the hell that was?" And with my say yes rule, there was no doubt in my mind. As we were standing outside admiring this sign, a big guy with a gray beard and a lot of tattoos came out and said hi. That guy was Terry.
My name is Terry. They call me Dr. T.
And he turned out to be one of the most interesting guys I've met in a long time. Dr. T, can you tell me what does this say on your window?
It says tattoos, coffee, and Bible study.
Tattoos, coffee, and Bible studies.
Yes.
Now that's a combination I haven't seen before.
Yes, we're blessed to have all three.
Yeah.
I started it 26 years ago with the tattooing, and the Bible study a little over 6 years ago.
So can you technically do all three at the same time?
Yeah, but it's a little hectic. To say the least, it's a little hectic. But the coffee keeps us awake so we can go through it.
I love it. Thank you so much. And I thought that was it. I finished my interview and said thanks to Dr. T, but I kept the tape rolling as we chatted for more than half an hour.
I would love to come and, I've always wanted to tattoo. Maybe you're the guy to do my first tattoo.
Davina said that she would come back and get her first tattoo. By the way, she never did. And Terry told us about growing up in Iran when the Shah was still in power. In fact, he went to school with his son Mehta and often went to the Shah Palace, a place that I visited in 2006, long time after the Shah was removed from power.
I was in Tehran for 9 years.
But why?
My father was OIC of SATCOM, and my mother was with the CIA. We taught the Iranian pilots, and we set it in their communications. I was in school with Mehta. He had the Shah's son. We come up together.
Wow.
I'm gonna come see
We
you
have a
again,
mess.
Terry.
Please do.
Yeah.
Honored for coming up. But I enjoyed the Middle East. I did. It wasn't to me what most people go to the Middle East thinking. You know what I'm saying? I was a kid. I grew up. I smoked my first hash there. Do you understand? I'm downtown just smoking the hookahs with that crazy nuts. You know, here's the white kid.
No, I don't understand.
Here's the white kid. Here's the white kid in the Middle East. Yeah. But that's back when the Shah was king. You know what I'm saying? And he was our puppet. You know, and the Americans get away with
I was at his palace, but that was years after he was removed.
Moved from the I went through that gate. You know where you've been to the palace.
Yeah.
You know the gate with the lions, the golden
exactly,
gates.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
You go up, you got the pond in the middle, in the circle. I'm in that pond up to my knees as a kid. My dad beat the hell out of me.
I have a picture of me standing in front of that pond.
Yeah, my father beat the hell out of me for that. There was fish. I was catching a fish. I didn't know any better. You know, I didn't understand. And Mehta, he thought it was funny. He got in trouble too because he didn't tell me what I wasn't supposed to do it.
Right.
And so his dad got him, and my dad got me. I learned a lot of Middle Eastern culture. Tons. I immersed myself in their culture when I was there. Yeah. You know, the food, the customs, the traditions. You know, and it's everywhere I've ever went. It's the same way.
I was also invited to a Toastmasters meeting on Friday morning, and since it was one of the days where Davina was home, I asked if she wanted to join me, and she would, and we got in the car, and she said, "Oh, can you drive? I need to answer a few emails." And I said, "Sure," and got on in the driver's seat, and then I had the route on Google Maps, and I missed a turn. And I missed a turn, but quickly got another route calculated, so it was not that big a problem. But it turned out that it was because I was speeding in a school zone. Yeah, I am not proud of that. It's very embarrassing, but I totally missed the sign, and apparently I was driving a little bit too fast in this school zone, and sure enough, police lights was behind me, and I was pulled over for speeding. Very embarrassing.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
Somebody late for work?
No?
Yeah. Stopped you guys for speeding in the school zone here.
Oh.
So, yeah. You got your driver's license and your registration?
Here's the registration. It's my car.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, clocked you at a 41. It's a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone with the flashing lights on.
Let's see that.
You have a driver's license in the States?
No, this is from an international license from Denmark.
Okay.
I'm Danish citizen.
Got it. You live here in the States?
No, I'm visiting. She does.
Okay.
Yes, I live in High Point, and he's on his way to a Toastmasters meeting or something.
Toastmasters?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's where you practice giving public speaking.
Got it.
Yeah, I've just moved there recently myself, and I didn't even know this area.
Is it Palo Bow?
Yes.
How long are you here in the States for?
Until 3rd of October.
Then you go back to Denmark for good, or?
Yeah. No. In fact, I'm just traveling around the world. But I go back to Denmark in October.
You're not coming back to the States anytime soon?
No, I don't
Or
think
North
so.
Carolina?
No, I don't have any plans to do so.
Yeah. All right, just give me a second.
I wasn't thinking about school zones.
I did not see that.
I didn't either. I didn't see any flashing lights.
2 police cars.
That's how they do it here in the States. They saw there was a black person in the car, and he's like, "Oh, call for backup." Just kidding.
All right, sir. Have a safe trip back to Denmark. You got your driver's license on you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead and hop in the driver's seat.
Okay.
I did cite you, ma'am, for allowing someone unlicensed to drive in the state of North Carolina, okay?
that.
He doesn't have a driver's license in the States.
I can use this.
Internationally?
Yeah.
He's traveling to every country in the world.
Oh yeah, I've rented cars here.
Under that?
Under that, absolutely I can drive with this.
Let me take a look again.
I've rented several cars here with this. Did they say they were going to give you a fine?
Yeah. I've never even heard of that in my life. How can you do that?
I've done that so many times in the States. Rented cars. All the way back to 93 when I did it the first time, and I've done it several times this year, and
Where are you staying at here? With her?
He's staying with me. He's
Okay.
my house sitter. I found him through a house sitting website, and he's here for a month. I'm
taking
leaving.
care of her dogs.
Yes, I have 2 dogs, and I'm leaving again for 5 more days. I'll be back on September 29th. He's leaving a few days later.
Sure.
But yes, he's my house sitter. I've been at a riding retreat for the past 2 weeks, and he's been driving the whole time. He has used this license.
Yeah.
I've rented cars when I was here back in '93 for several weeks, and I was here a month ago as well. That was in another state in St. Louis. I rented a car there, and I drove it all the way through 15 states, all the way to Chicago, and it was never ever a problem. Never a problem here.
And the reason why I'm not driving is this is his meeting we're going to. He does these in different cities, and I just needed to check my email and stuff.
Sure.
So I said,
Allow him to drive.
Yeah.
All right. You live in High Point, right?
Yes, sir. He's done it since he was here. I've been kind of like coming and going. I went to the beach, came back for a couple days, then I went to Virginia, came back to a couple days, and on one of my shorter legs, he just rented a car like 2 weeks ago.
I've had a driver's license for 35 years, and I've done it many times here.
So is this would be your driver's license number, or
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
issue date,
expiration, and that's my Danish social security number. And Rigspolitiet means the Danish government police.
Is that where you are, a police officer, or
No. That's just who issued it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Just give me a second.
Do you?
Okay.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, did you still need my license?
Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I stopped you for speeding, of course, like I explained. That is a school zone, so I took you out of the school zone, and I just cited you for your speed. Now, you will have to pay the ticket
Yeah,
since you don't live here.
Of course.
If you're here, of course, if you choose to go to court, it'll be Wednesday, the 25th of October, 8:30 here in High Point. Everything on how to pay the ticket is at the bottom here, okay?
Okay.
You probably want to take care of that before you go back to Denmark.
Absolutely.
Okay. There's your driver's
Thank you
license
so much,
there.
sir.
Ma'am, as far as your ticket, I'll go ahead and have that dismissed since I did cite him. And if he has a valid driver's license, I'll ask the DA because I've never seen a foreign driver's license, and so that's something brand new for me. So that'll be a good training to get him. But at the same time, if you have a driver's license, like you say, you can also be cited.
Yeah,
like
of
anyone
course,
else,
of
okay?
course.
So slow down a bit. I didn't write you for the school zone, okay?
I'm so ashamed.
Thank
That's
you.
so embarrassing.
And I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention.
Oh,
I
no,
was
it's fine.
checking my
It's
email,
fine.
and I
It's
should
my
have been
responsibility.
helping.
Yeah, I completely understand. So, if you have any questions, any further questions?
So when you say that you're going to dismiss it, is that something that you handle, or do I need to do
handle
anything?
it, yes.
Okay.
No, you don't have to do anything. I'll just go and talk to the DA about
Okay.
it and have them dismiss it for you.
Okay.
All right.
You still want me to drive over there?
Totally up to you.
Okay.
Same
Well,
person.
y'all
Thank
safe-
you.
have a safe trip back.
Absolutely.
Bye.
That was money well spent. So what just happened? I was pulled over by the police. Davina, can you explain exactly what I did wrong?
Yes. Polly was speeding in a school zone.
Oh, it's so embarrassing, so embarrassing. I feel so ashamed. And then I gave him my driver's license, my Danish driver's license, and he's never seen a Danish driver's license before.
He's never even seen or is aware that there are international driver's licenses, which is strange for a police officer.
He came back and gave you a ticket for allowing me to drive without a license. Yeah. But we managed to talk our way out of that one. But of course, I got a ticket for speeding. $203.
Rotted.
And you got one the other day as well?
Yes, I got a ticket a couple weeks ago for driving without my seatbelt, which I was completely guilty of, so I couldn't even argue.
So we're talking $400. Do you imagine what kind of party we could have had?
Yeah, that's sad.
I have a court date. Do you think I should go to court and fight the American system?
Yes, fight the power! Fight the power, Pale.
Remember that the police officer specifically said to Davina that she shouldn't do anything, that he would handle it.
Ma'am, as far as your ticket, I'll go ahead and have it dismissed since I did cite him.
So when you say that you're going to dismiss it, is that something that you handle, or do I need to do anything?
Yes.
Okay.
No, you don't have to do anything. I'll just go and talk to the DA about it and have him dismiss it for you.
Okay.
Well, producing this episode, I just spoke to Davina, and he never did. Month later, she was pulled over with a broken taillight, and they told her that her driver's license had been suspended. That cost her $200. When I spoke to Davina yesterday, I told her to fight that. Fight the power.
Yes, fight the power!
Oh, by the way, a twist on that story. When we... The whole thing with the police officer took a long time. So when we finally arrived at the network meeting, it was 15 minutes too late. And that's something I really, really hate, coming late to a meeting. But we were there 15 minutes late, and the girl in the front office said, "No, you're not late. You're 2 weeks early." The meeting is not today. It's in 2 weeks. Oh my God!
Wow.
So,
that was funny when the lady said, "You're a little early." Peak early.
oh my God! Oh. I don't know how I did that, but I got the date wrong, and it's next Friday. So, and that's when I've already left High Point. So I'm not going to be joining that network meeting. But it was interesting to get up really, really early that morning to a meeting that didn't exist, all just to get a speeding ticket here in the U.S. All part of the journey. All part of the journey.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe in iTunes or the podcast app on your smartphone. You can see pictures, watch videos, and read much more on the Radiovagabond.com. Pale can be reached for interviews and public speaking gigs on mail at the Radiovagabond.com.
This episode is brought to you in part by housesitting.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotels and guest houses and hostels around the world. Housesitting.com, best price guaranteed. That was all we have time for in this episode, but I have so much more to share with you from North Carolina, so you will get another episode already Wednesday morning. My name is Palabo. See ya.